Unprofessional doctors run at the sight of ugliness. Their child was born different, therefore the sensible thing was to raise him in a tiny cage. I mean, of course, right? Paul Rubens almost certainly shot this cameo prior to his actual porno theater arrest, but still, porno theater arrest, and all that implies. Jean-Benet Ramsey, also Bizarro Moses' mom. Over 2.5 minutes of floating baby carriage credits. Sudden bats show up for no reason other than a mad convergence of coincidental harmony. DC Comics. The Penguin will become the Penguin via a story not unlike the Jungle Book. Also, for some reason, Gotham has penguins living beneath its streets, because that makes sense. Also, how the do penguins take care of a human baby? Can their beaks change diapers? 48 in DeVito years. Also, 33 years is pretty specific. Why not just 30? Do we really give a what exact age that penguin baby grows up to be in this film? Was some writer just trying to get cute by being too specific with the length of the time jump? Also, Gotham City looks exactly like the covers of those 1960s science fiction novels that your older brothers drew an entire animated stick figure kung fu flip book through that was more interesting than the book itself. This tree lighting ceremony in a city with tens of millions of citizens has attracted approximately 47 people. Movie unintentionally inspires the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. Why the f*** is the sewer the penguin could get this good a look at the Christmas tree? I'll tell you for a fact there isn't one because it looks fake as shit. Also, this movie came out June 19th, 1992. Back then, people craved Christmas movies in the summer. Cosmic Fate allows for this pan-up from the villain straight to Alfred shot. They try to make Michelle Pfeiffer look all frumpy and shit, but it comes off as dishonest as she's all that. What's the point of a giant cat ornament on the side of your building that tells time but has no numbers on it? Hey Bill, what time is it? It's about eyebrow right incisor o'clock? Really? Oh, so almost 7 then. When you let Tim Burton direct his True Vision, you end up with lavish sets and 2/5 the extras you need.
Will you welcome, please, Gotham's own Santa Claus, Max Schreck.
With absolutely no subtlety whatsoever, Batman Returns names one of its villains after the actor who famously played Nosferatu, minus 1 letter.
Oh darn.
How would someone this ditzy ever get this job in the first place? I actually think there are more microphones in attendance than spectators.
We want the big guy! The guy who runs the show!
What do you want?
Not you! Shrek!
Why not just ask for Shrek in the first place?
Let go!
So, how does the bat signal tell him where to go, though? Was he using police scanners at this point? Because if so, wouldn't monitoring police scanners have told him about this situation before the bat signal did? I think it would have. When 2 people are shooting at Batman from the hood of his Batmobile, his best option is to brake suddenly and hope there's a fire around. Straight up murder.
Thanks for saving the day, Batman.
He did? All he did was take out 4 guys. Did we miss all the ass-kicking on the hundreds of other bad guys who were running around? Max decided to stand on a sewer grate for some reason. Most people avoid standing or walking on them because they mistrust the government, but Max actually stands on them proudly, and you see what happens.
I want to find out who I am by finding my parents.
How did you learn English? Was it that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle way? The Penguins didn't teach you, did they?
A lot of tape and a little patience make all the difference.
I don't doubt you taped all the incriminating documents back, because they did that for real in Argo. But how did you know such documents would be incriminating? How many documents does a company like Shrek destroy every day? How did you know you weren't piecing back together yesterday's lunch menu?
Honey, I'm home! Oh, I forgot. I'm not married.
Movie constantly hammers home how pathetic Selina Kyle is, as if the studio head said, no one's gonna believe Michelle Pfeiffer is this much of a loser. She's gonna have to remind everyone in every scene. Then people will believe it. Giving cats milk is a bad idea. If you only remember one thing from this Sins video, I hope it's don't f***ing give milk to cats. Also, this is the apartment of 2s. 2 teapots on the stove, 2 teacups awaiting tea on the counter, 2 toys on the doggy bed, 2 steps to get up to the counter, 2 tomatoes in the window. Where is the second cat already?
Selina, about that Christmas getaway we planned?
Wait. You mean there's actually a man in her life who she's actually excited about? She just doesn't acknowledge him until the answering machine message drives home even more patheticness? Also, can someone transport me to a world where all the guys turn down Michelle Pfeiffer?
And, I even opened the protected files.
I know she's supposed to be a ditz of some sort, but why in the hell would she ever think it's a good idea to open protected files?
I figured your password was Geraldo, your chihuahua, and it was.
If you'd done this to Sarah Palin, your ass would be in jail right now.
What did curiosity do to the cat?
Preemptive punnery. I know it's late at night, but that's gonna go unnoticed? Seriously? Unlike, every other murder victim ever, cats will inexplicably race to this woman's rescue and lick her wounds with nourishing cat saliva. And that will somehow matter in the grand scheme of things, and maybe even keep her alive. What the actual f***? By the way, what you're seeing here is the extremely dark version of the makeover from She's All That. It's amazing these cats even helped her after all the abuse she's given them, feeding them milk, throwing them on the floor. Just what did she do to deserve superpowers? There's no way any disposal would work with that many damn stuffed animals clogging up the sink. Selina took the time to deface her own dollhouse instead of just becoming Catwoman already. With the unbelievability factor higher than most Batmans at this point, it's amazing Selina can't call on her cat army to sew this costume for. Also, why is this the first thing you think to do when you've been revived from the dead and now you have powers? You know what? Gonna need a costume. It's just the way it is. The Gotham City in this movie is the most uncomfortably small city ever made, and it's way too obviously a set. In the last movie, even though they kept using the same theater in the background over and over, it felt a lot bigger than Whoville. Mom doesn't seem all that upset that some asshole just took her baby.
No, it's the hideous penguin
human man.
This plan entirely relies on a crowd to be completely quiet after a baby just got stolen, and hope that no one will try and play hero and jump down in the sewer to chase the guy. Also, because no one here is an actual detective, no one will wonder how the sewer grating was left completely open for the kidnapper to conveniently jump down into to make his escape, and how Penguin just happened to be there to stop it. Somehow, despite the fact that this duck is the thing that elevates Penguin to the surface, he will emerge with no duck in sight, even as he continues to be elevated out of the sewer, because, let's face it, there was no way that duck was getting through that opening. What I'm saying is, this shit downright impossible, yo.
Who was born a little different.
In a nutshell, Penguin describes all Tim Burton movies. See all these bats roaming free? I wonder what happened to that one caged bat Bruce held hostage during the last movie. Nearly all the paragraphs on this newspaper, except the first one underneath the headline about the circus, is a bunch of bullshit. Also, while I may be too lazy or busy to find them all, you can rest assured that each and every one of this movie's close-up newspaper shots has some glaring inaccuracy.
I was their #1 son, and they treated me like #2.
Ugh, I guess you weren't expecting a poo joke in Batman, but there you go.
He's like a frog that became a prince.
No, he's more like a penguin.
This extra would be excellent at CinemaSins. I'm glad Catwoman is here to save this chick, but how did she beat Batman here? And wait, Batman never even shows up in this scene? The hell?
My first time.
I mean, damn. One overlooked aspect of cat behavior is their ability to kung fu.
I'd offer you coffee, but my assistant is using a vacation time.
We didn't bother to replace her during vacation time, so actually no one is getting coffee the next 2 weeks regardless of who they are. Bruce and Shrek agreed to see each other as long as Bruce got to conduct the meeting at a comically hilarious distance away from Max. I mean, it's as simple as how many times you see the sky in this movie. You know how movies set in New York find a way to show you a sky every now and then? Gotham has no sky, and I can practically see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air getting taped in the background. This idiot's master plan is to somehow get Cobblepot, a grunting, grotesque, flipper-having, raw, fish-devouring mass of a creature, elected mayor. This idiot is an idiot. Movie unintentionally inspires Mike Tyson.
Oswald Cobblepot, filling the void. I'd like to fill her void.
This doesn't even feel like a Batman movie. Now we throw gross sexual innuendo in this with only a fraction of action so far. This movie isn't Batman. It's Edward Scissorhands reimagined by Danny DeVito.
Stop global warming. Start global cooling. Make the world a giant icebox.
We didn't sin Batman and Robin for Mr. Freeze copying the Penguin's exact same plan, so we will sin it retroactively in this movie. How many villainous plots are going to revolve around freezing everything? This dog is going to carry a grenade to a store in order for it to blow up, but why? Using a dog in this way offers no advantages in stealth or execution. And don't you put the dog in danger? And how does a grenade have that kind of delay on it? Batman just stood there while this dude got harassed. If you have scanning technology that is this amazing, then why not use that on all weapons and end these things in 3 seconds? By the way, what the f does the Shrek company have to do with cats? Michelle Pfeiffer ends the lives of 2 potential mates for Andrew McCarthy. This is just a truly shitty Batman movie. And it's way worse than we even remember it. There's virtually no room for Catwoman in this thing. She's just there and pointless. It's the patient zero of too many villains syndrome. Even the Gotham Wilhelms had their plight committed to celluloid. But Batman doesn't kill though, right? I mean, that dude dead.
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
In a fight between the two of us right now, or in a game of Scrabble? Either way, I think the answer is yes.
I saw her first. Gotta fly.
Penguin, with absolutely no proof of wrongdoing, makes a villainous exit from the scene for no reason. And he says, I saw her first, like he's gonna chase after Catwoman. But no, he's just gone. This contraption defies all logic. And I mean all logic. What is this f***ery? Batman's climbing a ladder with an obvious steep drop behind him, but he lands on a roof? What the f***ing
How could you? I'm a woman.
Batman falls for this. Whatever that is throws Catwoman into a thing that was previously nowhere near this whatchamacallit. Now Batman lets go, and he easily lands on something not that far below it. That means the dire situation Batman was in the beginning of the scene wasn't nearly as dire, and he didn't even need to throw that blue glowing thing at Catwoman. And how the f did Batman get on this completely other building above Catwoman after falling down another one to save her? I don't know, and you don't either. Quiet, Batman apologist in the back. This makes no sense. It's almost as if you have 9... Oh... Also, wow, what a fortuitous kitty litter truck. Those things drive around 24 hours a day.
Just the pussy I've been looking for.
Who's responsible for this awful penguin horniness? Why hasn't Shrek bought this guy some hookers yet? Do we really need James Bond double entendres in a Batman movie?
We're gonna disassemble his Batmobile and turn it into an H-bomb on wheels.
Never mind the specifics of how we'll do that. Or how we even got these blueprints in the first place. Just shut up and follow the script, damn it.
He'd have even more power as a martyr.
What? Yet again, Batman villains don't want to kill Batman because of stupid reasons. Swallowing the bird whole is creepy and effective, but isn't remotely close to what real cats do with real birds. Also, and on the same subject, movie contains no scenes of Catwoman sneaking into her owner's bedroom and dropping off a bird head. First of all, why would you put your TV this close to the goddamn fire? Won't it melt soon? Did the Catwoman even make the news last night? She blew something up, with Batman a block away, mind you, then seduced the Penguin in closed quarters. Why the f is she front page news in all the papers? And why the f does Gotham have so many goddamn newspapers?
Who are you?
You mean the guy who's in all the newspapers and all over TV? Oh, nobody. What a world these people live in, where villains can throw a batarang at some random actress, and that makes enough sense to the cops to believe Batman did it. Also, luckily for Catwoman's plan, one of the Penguin's goons kept the batarang he threw at them in the last battle. Otherwise, how the hell are they going to frame Batman for anything?
Had one, didn't work.
That's pretty much the explanation the movie gives for why Vicky Vale isn't in Batman Returns. But let's face it, the real reason is it's always more entertaining to have some new love interest than to keep the one who was so goddamn special in the last movie.
This evidence is purely circumstantial.
And by no means should be shown on television for any reason, but it's great for the half-baked villainous plan. Bruce and Selina were just about to have sex on the couch, and Alfred comes wandering out of this room without being called or anything. So how many times has Alfred seen Bruce rogering a lady in the mansion? 52 microphones, but only WXRX was allowed to use a branded mic for this event. Fishing. Also, at what point did the circus gang learn enough about the Batmobile to build a remote that it would obey? Look, just because you show me that they have some ill-gotten blueprints doesn't explain how they built a remote that cracks all the car's security features. Look, I know Penguin wants to make it so that it's easy for Batman to find this actress, but this is still one of the luckiest found a kidnapped person in a huge city moments I've ever seen. Absolutely no one is around to witness this gang f***ing with the Batmobile. It feels like at this point that Batman should know Catwoman is Selina Kyle. Greatest detective in the world, sure, but can't see the uncanny resemblance between alter egos.
Batman pushed the princess!
Listen here, random in the crowd, you did not see from down here. You see how far up this is and how dark it is? And you're making this casual accusation while the woman is in midair.
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
But a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.
There's no reason for Batman to even bother saying this silly phrase in this situation, other than the scene later when they find out each other's secret identities. Also, after the cops' world record speed in getting to the top of that one building, they apparently lost all ability to track and chase Batman after he fell onto another one. But with the buildings the way they are in this movie, who knows what's possible and what's not. Movie accidentally makes me think this is what kissing is, leading to a world record embarrassing first kiss encounter. Oh yeah, he has wings! Why couldn't he save that girl from falling a minute ago? Or at least try? All that bullshit just happens to wrap up at the exact time Batman's coming back to get his car. I'm still shocked this movie thinks the Batmobile is this easily hackable. Among this movie's many sins, the people of Gotham rallying behind Oswald as a mayoral candidate may be the most egregious. I just don't get the timing of all this. Penguin was on top of a roof, making advances at Catwoman, and not particularly concerned about time at all. But he somehow gets downstairs to f with the Batmobile before Batman can even reach it. Did they custom build this thing? I mean, I know he's about to control the real Batmobile, but did they need to make the control system one of those nickel horsey rides outside Kmart? Penguin is rocking all over the place, while the real Batmobile is on a level street. You mean you have this kind of scanner, but you don't have any alarms that pop up when someone f***s with the car in the first place? And knowing the circus gang had the blueprints for this car, why weren't all the manual functions disabled so Batman couldn't operate anything on the inside? This is basically an architectural ex machina, really. And an oh my god, I had no idea the Batmobile had a skinny mode ex machina too.
Security? Who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave?
Batman would be amazing at CinemaSins. Batman's CD player, of course, has a bat symbol on it, because logos and marketing are important deep down in a secret Batcave. Damn, this crowd brought a lot of lettuce and tomatoes with them to this heretofore pro-Oswald rally.
Why is there always someone who brings eggs and tomatoes to a speech?
It wasn't just someone, it was everyone.
I am not a human being! I am an animal!
Nice reverse Elephant Man reference, and by that I mean I f***ing hate it.
These are the names of the firstborn sons of Gotham City.
This movie is the Moses story, only Moses grows up to be the Pharaoh. I don't know how this religious allegory really fits a comic book sequel with more sexual innuendo than a Russ Meyer film, but whatever, it's art and stuff.
Let me take off our costumes.
So Selina and Bruce, who both wear costumes in the real world, show up to this costume party without a costume. The irony is thick, but I'm still kicking you out for not following the rules on the invitation, dickheads. This mistletoe is hung in such a way that everyone at this party should be making out right now.
You know, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
A kiss can be even deadlier.
Jesus, Bruce, that's a rookie-ass move, man.
Let's go outside.
I don't even know what to call this. Is this a sudden realization of alter ego, love connection, villain coincidence ex machina? Cause I think it might be. Movie does nothing to explain Penguin's obsession with yellow duckies. Also, he somehow had time to build a lift so powerful it would crash through the building's floor, not to mention destruction-proofing this ducky. Where'd he find all the time? All the firstborn sons in Gotham are kids, with no mix of teenagers or adults.
My dear Penguin!
And now because he's called Penguin, he will be able to communicate with and control actual penguins. And I'm having Ant-Man flashbacks all of a sudden.
The penguins are moving above ground.
You're acting like you knew this would happen, and what the Penguin's plan is. You don't. Remember, all Batman knew was Penguin planning to kill everyone's firstborn sons. He did not know about the mass Penguin missile gathering. And they're going to stop this by jamming the Penguin's frequencies, something they should have zero clue about, since this is a plan Penguin just came up with. Weaponized penguins.
Penguin army approaching launch destination.
He had time to hire this f***ing announcer girl to stare at some live-action data stream and make announcements. F*** you, movie. What? Penguin-shaped radar images? Give me a fucking break. Wait, does this watercraft fly too? How does he execute a barrel roll in a sewer with this thing? If this thing has a duck image on it, fine. I just want to know why it doesn't image all the other objects in the room. Somehow, the Penguin presents some kind of physical challenge to Batman. Why does Penguin even press this button? What does he think will happen, since the Penguin missiles are all right here? Also, Batman seems very lucky not to be anywhere near the missiles as they randomly find targets around Penguin's lair. Catwoman shows up in the finale so that her character doesn't seem worthless, and that fails.
Shut up, you're going to jail.
For what? What in this movie can you actually pin on Max Schreck? Yeah, we all know he's dirty, but what evidence of what crime does Batman have on him? Meaningless explosions! A bear statue falls! Excitement! What is the purpose of this? She already knows Bruce is Batman because of the mistletoe. The only thing this does is tell Max who Batman is. Don't bother aiming for the head, dickface. What the f***? This movie has no idea how to end itself, so it just took all the ideas from the brainstorming meeting and implemented them in one big screwball of an ending. Penguin pallbearers and funeral rituals. And there were many, many more adventures with Batman and Catwoman after this.
Chicks dig the car.
Now, my baby, be still now, don't cry.
Time. After being perched atop their mother's feet for 1,000 paces, like a child learning to dance on her mother's shoes.
Rosebud.
Mistletoe. Now pucker up and kiss it, Whoville!
Felt it in my gut. Terrible news, folks. The worst tragedy of our time.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween.
No, please, I can't digest milk.
Your sword can stretch as far as you can without injuring yourself.
He's a symbol that we don't have to be afraid of scum like you.
Yeah, you do, Brian. You really do.
You're in deep with the wrong people.
You don't get to judge me just because you were born in the master bedroom of Wayne.
Actually, I was born in the Regency, bro.